Today I'd like to just tell a story really, and that is about an Uchi-Deshis, the Uchi-Deshis that students from all over the world come to, and they choose their teacher. And there's not many places in the world that do full-time Uchi-Deshis. A lot of the teachers that run dojos have other jobs. They don't have a full-time running dojo. And I'm sure as time goes by this is going to be less and less. So apart from the Japanese masters, there's some in America that do deshis. I had my period of years of doing them where I had my dojo in my own garden. It was really a beautiful dojo. I loved it very much, and I actually regret selling the house with the dojo in it. We used to have seminars holding around about 35, 40 students. So it was a good size. Had kitchens, showers, bunk beds. And over the years, sometimes there's Uchi-Deshis that stand out, or deshis that stand out, I should say. And I'm just going to mention no names, but some that make me smile and make me think. A lot of the students, they start off at a club, they do their Aikido, they're inspired, they want, like I was earlier, they want to do more, they want to explore more about Aikido, they want to immerse themselves. I've had one fly all the way, he wasn't Australian, but he flew all the way from Australia to the UK to be a Uchi-Deshi with me. I picked him up from the railway station. We got back to the dojo. He handed me a credit card. It was either a gold or a platinum credit card, and said, take what you need to teach me. And I said, I don't take credit cards. This is a dojo, it's not a business. But I said, I do actually have a business where I could take it to my business in the week and I could take some money. But I said, let's see how it goes. How long are you thinking of staying? Because they have to write first, giving you some idea of what they want, how long they want to stay, their background, their teachers. And all his credentials added up to him being okay, a reasonably new student in the dojo. So this was on the Friday afternoon, evening. I picked him up from the railway station, took him back to the dojo, walked him round, and I gave him his jobs to do. He was the only one there at the time. And I said, tomorrow there's a weekend seminar, so you've come just right. But we must make sure the place is clean and tidy first. And I haven't missed anything, because I said I'm the one that does it when there's no deshi here. So I was quite used to doing the same work as you would ask the students to do. He looked at me straight in the eyes and said, I don't do cleaning. I'm just come here for you to teach me. I had to quickly say to him, I don't know who you really are, and I don't know what you think, but your credit card isn't going to pay for just teaching. You immerse yourself, you do everything I tell you, or you leave. So I was annoyed at the time, sad, but I think I would get annoyed, but obviously didn't show it. The next day comes. He hadn't done anything, and I was running around getting things ready. Thankfully some of my students came, and who were very loyal students, and they made sure the place was fit and ready. By the Saturday afternoon it was festering, because apart from the training he was doing nothing, and the students that came from outside the dojo were doing everything. So I asked one of my head students, please take the deshi and show him what he has to do and make him help you. He came back and replied, he said he's not here to do work. So after the first day, I went to him and said, pack all your things, I'm taking you back to the train station. His answer was, well, where will I go? And I said, well, where was you going after the period you were here for? And at that time I had no idea whether he was with me a week, a month, a year, because he said he wanted to see how it would go. And I went along with that, where normally you don't do that. He said, well, I was going to Italy. I said, well, there you go, take your credit card. And I didn't take any money and go. And my advice was never, ever step on a tatami again, because he was an insult to the whole program. On a lighter note, I had a Russian and a Dutch deshi, two deshis come together. They started at the same time. I would teach them in the morning and they would do their chores, and then they would have a program that they had to train a minimum of 1 hour a day on the program I gave them. And being two of them, it was really easy for me to give the program, because that means they could do a lot of techniques together rather than just sword work or ukemis singularly. After a few weeks, the Russian was becoming really superb. His ukemis, forward rolls, were beautiful and smooth, and it was so impressive. And the Dutch deshi, his rolls were terrible still, and I couldn't work out why he wasn't making any progress. It was as if he was in a time warp of stillness. So I asked him why he wasn't improving. I said, you are doing your training, aren't you? Yes, sensei, yes, sensei. So I thought perhaps it's because the Russian mind works different than the European mind. So time went by and the Dutch boy was still not getting any better. And I asked the Russian, is there anything I should know about the other deshi, because he's not improving? He looked at me and said, no, sensei, I can't say anything. I thought this was rather strange. And me being working all day and working for myself in my own business, I thought I would just go back one afternoon. So one afternoon, when they normally train around about 3 o'clock, I got there a little bit earlier than that. And the Russian student was already in the dojo doing his work, doing his program. And I asked him where the Dutch student was, and he says, I don't know, sensei. So I went off and found him in the bunk bed, fast asleep. And I confronted him, and every day, straight after my teaching program in the morning, 7 till 8, he would go straight back to bed, perhaps have breakfast, go straight back to bed, get up later in the day, do the jobs, then have his lunch, and then back to bed. So he wasn't training, and it just goes to show, you know, what you get out is what you put in. The last one I'd like to talk about today was from the UK. He came from a club, and his parents dropped him off, and he come for the week. And because he was a young boy in his mid-teens, I said, if you're only coming for a week, let's see how you get on. Didn't really need any fees for that. And after a week, he said that his parents said he could stay for a month. So, that's great. So, as the month was going by, I thought, well, I'm going to have to approach him about payment, because with the Uchi-Deshi program there was a payment. And he said, because he was young, he would have to get a job. So in the local area, I saw a job for a gardener. I said, do you know anything about gardening? No. I'll teach you how to use a mower and perhaps you can cut grass. Do you have any clothes we can take you to this interview? No, doesn't have any proper clothes. And it's so funny because I lent him my shoes, what were 3 times bigger than his feet, a shirt that would fit 2 of him, a tie that I had to do up because he didn't know how to do a tie up. And he looked like something out of an odd movie. And of course, he went for the job and didn't get it. Surprise, surprise. I found out afterwards his parents knew nothing about this. And he told them that I asked him to stay. They didn't really know what to do with him, but I found him a really nice young man. I have no idea if he still trained Aikido after he left me. But when you give a Deshi things to do, you sometimes forget that you have to tell them every single detail. A lot of students that go on Deshis anywhere in the world are like children. You're their father. You have to tell them exactly, detail by detail, what to do. And there was a funny time, and I still smile today. I said, James, I want to put a sink in the kitchen at the dojo, but we have to dig a soak away. And I need it to be 1 metre by 1 metre. And off I went to work round about after my class, about 8:30. And I had a busy day, but managed to get home by 6 at night. And I thought I'll just go and see how he is. I nearly said his name then. And I go walking down the path to the dojo, calling his name, and nothing comes back. So I thought, I'll see how he got on with the 1 metre by 1 metre soak away. And it was like a Laurel and Hardy film, or one of these sketches where you see the film and you can't believe it's so funny. I get to the hole and literally a shovel full of dirt come flying by out the hole, and then another shovel of dirt. So I looked in the hole, and there he was, so far down that only the shovel was reaching out. And I said, what are you doing? I said I wanted it 1 metre by 1 metre. He said, but Sensei, you didn't say how deep you wanted. So he'd been working on it on and off, and they were only supposed to work for an hour a day. But he was working for it on and off. And it was more than 2 metres deep because I'd never told him. He got into trouble so many times from the other Deshis when we had seminars, because he would sit in it was a summer house, but we converted it into the kitchen, and he would eat all their food. And I didn't know this until I heard afterwards. And they would complain. And when I said, why did you eat all their food? And he said, well, because I'm an Uchi-Deshi, I thought that anything that was put in the fridge or freezer was for me. I thought they were bringing me food. I didn't realise it was their lunch. So if you want to be an Uchi-Deshi, please think about exactly what being an Uchi-Deshi is. Me as a teacher sees the funny side, and that's really great, and I'm having a lot of fun telling you. It may not be viewed as many times as the other ones, but thank you for watching it, and perhaps if you enjoy it, tell me you're enjoying it. I have a lot more stories that I can tell. Thank you. Please leave your comments, likes, and please subscribe.